Today I'm going to talk about MMMs, also known as media mix models or marketing mix models. We'll talk a little bit about why so useful sometimes and what we specifically bring to the table and can offer you. So you may have some kind of an attribution system running measuring your channels, but keep in mind that even the best attribution systems like data driven attribution aren't very good with some channels. For instance, TV. I mean, there's no easy way to these. All these channels have to be click based. That's what attribution measures itself on. And in cases of TVs, that's hard. I mean, now we can do something with IP addresses, but pure click based is hard. Out of home, I mean, this is very, very difficult to measure. Other than a media mix model, then you might have podcasts, radio, even Facebook view throughs, right? So there's a need for these models, especially if you've got these non-click channels. But even if you do, they bring an extra level of insight that just pure attribution doesn't. Media mix models with the right kind of data can give you built in it the exact incrementality of each campaign at each data point, which in turn can inform you quite well and what your budget by channel should be. So very useful. Of course, you have to have the right input data for that, and we measure as well. Now, you can see some response curves here. Let me step back and talk a bit about how we've built our media mix models and how we can build it for our clients. So your input data, I mean, I know there's a lot of numbers here, so bear with me. But this is a somewhat easier input data where by date, you've got profit for that day or that date. And this profit is for the whole company. It's not by channel. I mean, that's what we want to figure out, how much each channel is generating for this profit. But this is an overall aggregated number. And then the main inputs are spend by channel by day. So you can see search, social, display, TV, YouTube. And you can be more granular. If you want to measure a specific campaign, you could actually have your spend by that campaign as well. Now, what these machine learning algorithms do is they look at all this data, at least a year, usually years worth. And typically what they can do is because you've got very granular spend and profit by day, the good media mix models can tease apart the impact that each channel spend has on profit, because these spends vary, profits vary, so you can tease apart what's really driving value or profit in this case. Now here I kind of said this is a simpler one. I mean, I know we do have a lot of channels and we can add more, but the reason I said this is a simpler Excel is because it's got only spend data. Now you may at some point, based on your business needs, want to go, or business nuances, want to go beyond spend. You may have promotions can impact profit as well. You may have seasonality, you may have pricing changes, you may even have competitors who change their pricing that could impact your profits, right? So all of these can be entered in here and we could customize the model totally. There's other things as well that you may want to put in there, like your priors, if you've done holdout tests. And you might say, I want to inform this media mix model with my prior holdout tests. We can customize for that as well. So that's a big piece. All of these should be customizable to the specific business needs. Now, once you have that, we build the model. I'm going to go to the overview tab here. We let it run. It usually runs overnight, and then it comes back with a lot of information. I'm not going to step through all of this, but this holdout MAPE is an interesting one. It is essentially scoring the model. It's training the model, let's say on 50 weeks of data, assuming you have 52, but it then trains only on 50. And the last 2 weeks of data are held out. And then we measure how the model does on data it's never seen, never been trained on. So it's a very, very fair assessment of the model. And usually if this number is too high, then we say, look, this model may not work as well. This MAPE is MAPE stands for mean absolute percentage error. So it's essentially, you want that number to be small. And 6.34, by the way, in this example is quite good, quite small. And then we are very, very transparent with exactly what the model is saying. We give you the equation by channel, and I won't nerd out on the math here, but do a quick thing here. The 6.01, you want that number to be high. It means that search is doing really well. Roughly, not quite, because there's other parameters here, but think of it as, hey, $1 in spend is bringing $6 in profit. That's the 6.01. But as I said, not quite, because you've got two more numbers here. The 0.81 is a memory factor. The spend in search today can impact profits not just today but on subsequent days as well. So you'll see that spend number is boosted. It's because you're dividing by a number less than 1, means the spend today is helping you generate profits not just today but in future. And that's an exponent, and the exponent in this case raised to power 0.87. If you think about the math there, that's implementing diminishing returns. We know every channel has diminishing returns at some point, and that's what that number does. So it's essentially saying the model measures not just the direct impact, but also, hey, what's the delayed impact, and then how the diminishing returns setting in. And then we do that for each channel. And once you have those equations, you can we build out these response curves with intervals as well, but these are coming directly from the equations. And then you'll see this curve as well, which again is coming from the equation as well. You can plot this out. The marginal impact, which is really, it's some calculus thrown in here, first derivative of these curves is really the marginal impact. But the idea here is you want to be above this red line. This red line is the break-even line. In this case, search is above the red line, which means you can spend a lot more. And then there's one channel here which is below the red line. TV, we should pull back, we should be spending less. And as you get insights here, you want to test into these insights. So even if the equation says, hey, you could increase your search spend a lot, well, let's take baby steps there. Let's maybe increase it max by 20%. And if that turns out to be well, we can increase it again. So all of that is in this budget optimization tool. When I said the 20%, those are the guardrails. And once you have the equation and you put in the guardrails, it will tell you exactly how much money to spend on each channel to improve and perhaps even maximize your profits. So that's the quick demo here. And if you're interested in building a media mix model with us, please do reach out. And the reason I say building with us is because we do have a product, but we absolutely need to and want to customize it for your business. So we'd have to work together on that. Once you have that, you can run it as often as you want, although running it more than once a month may not be very useful because you do need to get new data before you run it again. And then we're very competitive on pricing. We are very transparent with the equations, as you saw, and completely customized model. So if you have a need for this, you want to talk more about it, please do reach out. This is for LinkedIn. This is a LinkedIn video, so you can just message me directly on LinkedIn as well. And I'd be happy to reach back out to you, set up a time, whatever you need. All right, take care. Thanks a lot, and bye. Talk to you soon.